Well, you almost had me fooled. Had me thinking that I was nothing without you.
Hey. So we're planning everything that we're going to be doing for Belize with the Women's Business Cooperative that we have founded. And also we're discovering the different grants that are available to us, especially in Belize through the government, because they want to go towards the direction of completely sustainable, renewable energy. And also there's different companies giving grants for like permacultures and stuff like that. And we want to take full advantage of these things, you know?
Well, sustainable living and female empowerment, I know that those are interests of yours. It's been a long time, lifelong interests of mine.
Yeah.
So this is like the alignment of stars, and just watching everything unfold has been a really beautiful experience to be able to realize that what I thought was a dream that I could never participate in or I could never do, it seems so big and so daunting. We're now actually, writing down the steps and taking the steps that we need in order to actualize this for ourselves, for future generations, for other people.
Yeah.
And within this lifetime, we're going to see industries, we're going to see the empowerment of women, we're going to see sustainable living, we're going to have access to a life of integrity on a level that was a dream.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
a
you know
dream.
what? I think the specific thing is realizing that number one, everything we say and do and even think are seeds that we plant. And I feel that what we need to do is broaden our vision of what's possible. Why? Because these seeds that we're planting, unfortunately, in this country, there's not fertile ground for them.
That's right.
And it would take a lot of energy to like water it and get the right soil and all this kind of stuff, with all the red tape and the bureaucracy and also how expensive it is. So then what we did was like, okay, I have this seed that I want to plant. Where can I plant it? What place has fertile soil? I have an access to the locals, to the government, that they're aligned with and looking towards the same future that I am. And then once we found this place, all of a sudden, like, the people started coming together that have the same vision, and they're aligning with the people over there that have the same vision.
Yes.
And we're all taking steps together, which is great, because what's daunting is when you think of doing it by yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And I've tried. I've lived sustainably twice before, and at the end of the day, that was the killer, was not having a large enough community, not having enough people aligned. And I realized that that's what I needed. Initially, I was planning on going to Costa Rica, but I felt like everybody that's gone to Costa Rica have already actualized what I'm trying to actualize. They've already expressed that. So it'd be less satisfying for me, because I know that I have a lot to offer people. I have a lot to offer communities. I've got a lot. I've got a lot of knowledge, and it needs to be expressed in something that I have my hands in.
Exactly.
I need to be part of the creative process.
Yeah, you have to be part of the founding members of that, which is the way that I feel too, because I see things very clearly. And what I like about you and Cynthia and I, and even Mr. Rod, who's been a freaking blessing to have an environmentalist that has been an environmentalist from the beginning, when that wasn't even a word.
Right.
A grant writer. He built the first Hobbit home, and the guy is just legendary. He's amazing. And the fact that we have this team of people that have the same vision and that we can get along, and we have a great way of compromising.
Yeah.
Even in the small things that we do see a little different, we still have a way of bridging that.
Well, there's value in diversity.
Yeah.
And I've been able to learn and explore these concepts. It's one thing to see the words on a paper and read it in a book. There's value in diversity, but when we interact with one another, I'm able to see it in practice and believe more fully in what I'm doing. And another thing that I think is really, really important to note at this phase is that I've seen many other people do things in the world that change the world, but they do it on their own understanding, and they do it on their level, where they go out and assemble the people, people living by assertion, using their wealth to hire the people to do what they want to do in the world. And I'm not going to speak to the rightness or wrongness of that, but I feel very, very empowered and leveraged in the fact that something greater than us assembled us, something with
a greater purpose,
with a broader vision.
Yeah.
You know, I feel as though God, if you will, if you like to refer to it that way, this larger energy has assembled us together as like minds, and that gives me confidence in this mission, because I'm not relying on my understanding. There's something much greater.
Yeah. No, and the thing is that this has been assembling itself for years and moving all the pieces and all the people together for this moment right now. And now all of a sudden everything has aligned to the point that
It's precise.
it's it's been the momentum.
Gaining momentum,
You
and,
know?
and with such precision.
Yeah.
When I look at the details, it's like, that was a desire I had 10 years ago, and here I am,
Yeah.
able to do something with that desire that I had.
Yeah, me too. And the main thing for me that I've always thought of, and it's been a 10-year journey for me too, from the moment of waking up to the reality that everything I've been told, 98% of it was a lie. You know, the fact that I have been conditioned, and that, you know, my power has been taken from me against my will, but with my will, without me knowing, all these kind of things. That was the first step. And then after going through, you know, depression and anger and everything because of awakening,
Grief.
all the grief, processes of grief, I realized, I was like, okay, so what am I going to do about it? And at first it does feel pretty daunting. It's like, well, I want to, you know,
So
I want to
big.
empower women, and I want to help children, and I, you know, and sustainable and organic food and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden seeing that thought now is coming in, I mean, with the Women's Business Cooperative.
Well, not only
It's
that,
insane
but
what
I
we can do,
believe
you know?
I believe that these thoughts, these inspired thoughts that come to us, aren't from us.
No.
Anyway.
No, we're just the receivers.
So if you think about doing this with your own power,
Yeah.
it's impossible because it's too big.
Yeah.
But we're not operating like that.
No.
This is another level.
No, it's another level. And we're trusting, and also what you said, the diversity, that each of us has something different to offer. Each of us has something different that we know or that we're passionate about, that all together makes the whole mechanism run.
Yes.
You know? And then also we're sharing the weight and the burden, so it doesn't become something that's too daunting for one person. Not only that, but with something as beautiful as the Women's Business Cooperative, we're backed and funded by the government itself. And they're like, I want to help you create this group of women that we're creating a symbiotic system.
Yes, where they're giving us their support, but we're also giving them industry.
Yeah.
So
We're giving them industry, but also these women are going to get counseling,
Yes.
which is very important. I mean, you got to remember, women all around the world, and in different extents depending on the culture, you know, we have physical abuse and mental abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and also we're conditioned to feel inferior. And then these are all things that we have to break through. And I love the fact that we're making that part of the program.
yes,
You know, because it's not just about showing them how to create a business or how to grow their business. It's about showing them how to heal themselves and the benefits of that. You know what I mean?
yeah. There's a lot involved too, and I also like the fact that I think that the history of the United States has taught the world, you know, we as U.S. citizens and the world at large, if they pay attention, have seen what happens when you have access to abundance rather than redundant resources.
Where you're dependent on someone else.
Right, or dependent on one thing. For example, the U.S. economy is based solely on fossil fuels.
Yep.
And we're those of us that are aware of what's happening, like that's scary right now. To think that your entire economy and other people's countries' economies are dependent on that, and it's one thing rather than redundant resources. But with this project, not only is there support coming from government, but there's support coming from many resources.
Because many organizations around the world.
Yes, and not only that, but sustainable in its own right, generating in its own income in its own right.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient.
You know that we even.
But after everything you've done, I can thank you for how strong I have become.